Hey, waiting.
I love it.
Now we're rolling. Damage Plan MMA podcast. I'm Jason, as always, my co-host, the voice of MMA in Utah. Zack, Partridge in the house.
Yeah, baby.
I'm not even going to ask you about your fight because we're going to do you have your own fighter spotlight schedule.
As
How
I
badass
should.
is that?
As
How
I
badass
should.
is that?
I should have my
on your
fighters.
own podcast.
That's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. Hey,
week out from weigh-ins.
Time out. Can we tell everybody what we got? Well, what you just got?
What did I just get?
You're moving into a new office that is going to have a
cool
ass room there.
Yeah, we're gonna have the Damage Plan MMA. Damage Plan headquarters is coming to an office near you.
I'm so excited, dude. I told my wife, and she's like, "I'm never gonna see you." Ooh, sorry. I'm like, I'll probably work up there on Mondays and Fridays is kind of what I was thinking. But dude, so excited.
So the podcast game is going to change probably after we get done with my fight, and then and things are going to look a little different. We'll get done with my fight. We're going to have and then we're going to go to Cabo, and then our podcasts are going to be in a little podcast to do. Jackson knows where I'm at now. We're just getting our own unit two down. So if you know where my office is, it's not like I'm going far. I'm literally the same address, just different unit.
So if you want to sponsor this podcast and help us put some furniture in there, I mean, we're not going to say no. Let's just put it that way. Because we're going to need to deck it. We're going to need to deck it out and make it look cool.
Oh, it's going to look cool.
Yeah.
It's going to look cool, dog.
Can I bring my picture up of The Rock and Jorge?
Well, if you listen to our podcast with the Beehive, The Rock is my bromance. So The Rock is always welcome. And I love Jorge Masvidal. Are you kidding me?
I got a couple.
Did you see him rip Colin Kaepernick for wearing a Fidel Castro t-shirt?
Yes, I loved it.
That was epic.
I loved it.
Okay, I'm just going to little rant, whatever. If you support Fidel Castro and rock a t-shirt with a Fidel Castro shirt on, you suck and you don't know what's going on and what type of human being he is. And these people do it like he was like some sort of like leader or whatever. It's like, no, he was a dictator and he killed people. Like he sucks. Like families like Jorge Masvidal's left Cuba to get away from him. They get wood doors. They float to Florida on wooden doors in shark-infested waters, and that's worth it, the risk of dying, to get away from that guy.
Why is it always the people that aren't in the mix complaining about the mix? It's like you weren't there. You don't know what's going on. These are people that lived it. Like,
you mean the black athlete that was oppressed, that was adopted by two white people?
I mean,
grew up.
You could say that too. Yeah.
Gosh,
yeah.
Get out of here.
It's like, look, I get it. You want to be a part of something.
I just put it on my story too, on my Instagram story, because I'm still in Facebook jail for 3 more days. But I just put it on my Instagram story too. I'm offended by the Cleveland Guardians. My feelings matter too.
Yeah, that's bullshit. Like
Guardians, that's offensive. A guardian is a parent, and they are not. I'm offended. I'm appalled.
We need to start a petition.
Absolutely. My feelings matter too. I'm offended. I'm offended for all the real Guardians. I'm offended for Dave Bautista and all the people from the Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm offended for them. It's disrespectful of their movie.
Well, Luke, yeah. It's funny you said that because I literally commented that about an hour ago on somebody's post. I'm like, I'm offended. That's what it's turned into these days.
The offense.
Go ahead. You can be offended.
Oh, you know who we didn't have? We didn't do a spotlight for this time?
Who?
Marco. We had him,
I thought we were supposed to. I got him and Marco Sanchez confused.
No. Like big Marco.
Is he not coming on?
No.
He doesn't want to come on?
We don't have time at this point.
Yeah, that's true. That's right. You're going to be gone next week.
But so big Marco, right?
Yeah.
And he told a great story. We had a guy at our gym that was talking about like, police brutality and like maybe those cops went overboard and this and that. And Marco's like, in Serbia, if a cop tells you to stop and you don't stop, you're dead and it's expected. And people say, Yeah, we don't have, other countries don't have this problem. Yeah, it's because people freaking respect the police because it's just known they're just going to beat the crap out of you or kill you. And it's expected. And nobody feels bad for you there.
I think the best thing that we can do as a whole nation, just turn off the news. Don't watch the freaking news. Don't watch the news.
That's great. That is great advice.
Just don't watch the news. Look, we interact with a lot of different people with a lot of different views. I don't give a shit. If you're a good human being, you're a good human being. That's it.
So you know what? You know what we need to do is 1, just be nicer to each other.
Yeah.
2, be respectful of authority, which is something I could work on myself. I have a problem with authority, obviously, in more ways than one. And 3, just it's okay if other people have a different point of view. It's okay. It's okay.
I will have you know that I practiced patience yesterday with my daughter in the car when somebody tried to brake check me and cut me off twice on the freeway. Twice.
You practiced patience, but you also called me being like, this MFer.
Oh, I was fuming, dude. I'm fuming. My daughter's in the car and my Shaylee's like, but Dad, you did call him some names. And I'm like, were they those? I said, were they those names that I called? And she said, well, yeah. I'm like, okay, then. But I didn't do anything, right? She's like, okay, yeah. I'm like fuming. Dude, so like some freaking little meth head tweaker kid in an Altima. So if you were driving a white Altima yesterday and cut me off,
I'm coming after you, bro.
Oh, look at that. How about that? Why did Fiji leave Fiji? Well, minimum wage is $2 an hour and a pound of butter is $10.50.
We're heading that direction, folks.
We are.
Well, kind of the other way. We are heading in the direction of minimum wage is going to be $20 an hour, and then a loaf of bread's going to be $80.
I saw a thing on TikTok today. Some people leaving, all these workers walking out of this restaurant. That's pretty good, Zach. Yeah. It's actually really good.
Oh, yeah.
All these people walking out of this restaurant because they didn't get whatever they thought they needed. And I'm like, okay. So you're just going to go live off the government is basically what you're saying. Like, all these people that are complaining about more money, start your own business. Get on freaking YouTube. Start your own freaking business. There's enough information that you can do. You can learn whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. You can be whatever you want. Do it.
You know what? I hear
start your own company.
I hear all the time. I hear that. I own a car detailing business.
Yeah.
And I was like, if they forced a minimum wage upon us of $15 an hour for every employee, we'd close our door. And guess what? We'd have 6 people out of a job.
You want to know who?
So what happens when thousands of small businesses that employ 4 to 8 people all close their doors, and now you have millions of Americans unemployed because those businesses couldn't afford $15 an hour, $18 an hour minimum wage?
You know who deserves the raise? Is Corporal Smuckatelli that's walking through the streets of Ramadi getting freaking shot at. That's who deserves the freaking raise.
I take that. That's fine.
Why are we talking politics and shit? We just spent 10 minutes talking, ranting and raving about politics. I don't even care about that crap. We got fights. We got your fight in a week. We got freaking amazing Steel Fist card coming next weekend.
Bummed out. We missed out on our boy Artist Lyles.
This is exactly what I'm saying.
It's like losing a fight to COVID.
Oh yeah, we did. Yeah, a lot.
Dude, Fiji's got it, dude. That's why you're our people, Fiji.
It's what I'm saying. It's like people that have been in the mix, they realize, like, I've been to third world countries. I've freaking lived in the jungle of South America for 3 months. Like, I've seen what these people go through. Every tool that you need is available to us as Americans. It's all right there. You just got to do it.
Yeah,
be a good human.
I'm done because I'm going to cross a line.
You are going to cross a line, and don't cross it. We're going to get canceled.
We can't
get canceled.
We'll get put in YouTube jail for 30 days.
All right, let's talk about this card. We lost a fight on this card. We lost the co-main. We lost Aspen Ladd and Macy Chason.
That's.
Did they say what happened with Chazon? I heard she's the one that pulled out.
They said undisclosed injury. And that's a bummer.
The night before the fight.
So here's the thing. I don't know the right answer on this as a fighter. You know me. I've always said, if I could walk down that ramp and I can stand there, I'll figure it out. Yeah. I might not win, but I'll figure out a way to fight. I have a lot of people counting on me. Right?
Is that smart though?
But I'm an amateur.
Exactly. Is that smart at that level?
At my level, you can do that, right? Macy she's at a different level. There's part of me that's like, she's probably known she has an injury that it was going to be tough to deal with for probably, I would guess, at least a couple of weeks. I would guess. I don't know what it is.
I can't imagine her backing out unless it's something serious.
I think it is serious. I don't think it is. But I'm just saying, ethically, do you let the UFC know, hey, I have an injury, I might not make it to the fight, have somebody ready? Or do they just say, okay, we'll reschedule you, or we'll reschedule this fight for a month away, or whatever? Or do you go, no, I feel good right now. I'm peaking. I'm mentally, I'm in a good place. Like, I'm good everywhere else. Like, I need this to happen. And the time for weigh-ins, the time for weigh-ins comes, and it's like, I can't fight. I can't fight somebody like Aspen Ladd like this.
Yeah.
I will lose because like maybe her knee or her ankle, like, like she can't stand or throw a kick or what, like, at that level, do you really want your game plan to be like, I'll just go pull guard? You know what I mean?
Or it could have been something with the weight cut, maybe internally that.
Very possible. Kidney starting to shut down. She is a big girl. She fought on the season of The Ultimate Fighter with the heavy hitters where they were at 145. So I think cutting down to 135, I think that's a decent weight cut for her. And you just never know with girls. We've talked about this before. Yeah. And my wife has brought it up. Weight cutting with girls, and if they're at a certain time of the month and stuff like that, it's just like they start holding on to water weight. Like, that's just something that I can't even mentally wrap my head around. But I mean, who am I to say? Like I said, who am I to say like if it's okay or not? I mean, I just hope they get it rescheduled, and so they don't miss out on a paycheck. I hope it's something they can reschedule for like a month or something. Yeah, I mean, it's not like they don't have cards every freaking weekend. Just throw this fight on 2-3 weeks, month, 4 weeks away, and I hope. It just sucks because nobody gets paid. Nobody gets paid.
It does suck.
And I feel for Macy, but I especially feel for Aspen Ladd, who she probably did everything the right way. Yeah. She probably did her chance to perform, do well. It was a big fight. I think it was a co-main event for both these girls, right? It's supposed to be a co-main event. Yeah, co-main event. Yep. And people, unless you're a diehard, you might not know Macy Chazone and Aspen Ladd, but these are two up-and-coming girls they're freaking killers, man. Like, both of them are killers. This is a big fight for that division. So
I'm just looking on Twitter to see if they updated anything since. I think you do got to be a little careful though. At the higher level you get,
I agree.
I was just having a conversation. I won't say any names, but there's a fighter that you and I both know that got offered a fight in a couple weeks. And I mean, he's probably not in the best position to take that fight right now. Is it a winnable fight?
Is it the one we've been talking?
We talked about, and it's a winnable fight for the guy. I think, but I think with the situations that's going on, I think he'd be smarter to maybe take the couple months and try it again in 2 or 3 more months. But he's at that level where he's got to be a little more. You can't just be like, hey, I'm just going to go out there and still bang. It's like, oh, man, I mean, there's just a lot of factors in there, and I'm happy to see that he's taking the time that he needs. And
I'll tell you this, it is the reason though that Conor McGregor gets so many favors from Dana, being that type of guy that never pulls out, right or wrong. Like, I'm not saying now, but I'm saying like when he got his rise and his push.
There's a fine line.
It's a double-edged sword where it paid off for Conor, right? Like, give me Chad Mendes.
He was winning.
what if Chaz sinks in that guillotine and Connor doesn't get out of it and
we
you know what I mean? That 3 seconds where that guillotine looked tight and Connor had to like roll out of it.
Yeah.
And what if he doesn't roll out of it and Chad sinks it and it's over?
Could be a whole different,
I mean,
ball game.
And that choke was close. If you're a Connor fan, you were puckered up pretty good there for a second.
Yeah. All right, let's
but as the UFC always does, Cowboy's a great example of this.
Phenomenal example of it. Yeah.
I mean, Cowboy's gonna Cowboy, right? That's like a main for dude, that's a t-shirt. Cowboy's gonna Cowboy.
Cowboy's gonna Cowboy.
And Cowboy's a great example of and that's I mean, you want to know why he always gets fights and he gets bonuses. You know why he gets bonuses? Because he says yes.
Yeah.
Oh, you want me to fight Darren Till in England? This monster, Darren Till in England, the up and comer who's really a 185er and I'm really a 155er, but you want me to fight him at 170? Sure, I'll do it. Like,
Yeah.
When nobody wanted to fight Darren Till, no big names wanted to fight him yet. Those guys, it pays off. But I don't blame Macy for pulling out if she really felt like she was compromised and was putting herself in a situation to not be able to win the fight either.
Yeah.
Because if I'm not mistaken, Macy Chiasson, she did, she lost. She's 7-1. She's got a pretty dang good record to protect. And her next win, if she beats Aspen Ladd, probably puts a number by her name or gets her moved up the number. I mean, 7-1 versus 9-1. That's a pretty dang good.
That's a great matchup. That was a great matchup. All right, let's talk about this card because we got to be off at 3. Stat card. First up in the strawweight division, we got Diana Balbita against Hannah Goldie. Diana is 13-6. She stands 5'7" with a 68.5-inch reach. Hannah 24K. Goldie is 5'1". She stands 5'4" with a 61-inch reach. Pretty significant height and reach difference for the Warrior Princess.
Yeah, it is. This is a weird fight.
It's a very weird fight. I'm looking.
It's like they're both coming off long layoffs. Homegirl Diana hasn't fought in a year since she lost to Liana Jojua, who I'm a big fan of as well. Hannah Goldie hasn't fought since 2019. It's like
neither one of them have really fought anybody, and when they do fight somebody that's good, they lose. Both of them.
This is such a freaking weird fight.
I would say experience, probably Diana, right? Higher level, maybe. She's been in the UFC. She's got 3 fights in the UFC, I think it was.
For sure, she has the experience.
2 fights. This is her 3rd fight in the UFC. But she loses to Lilian Jojua. She loses to Molly McCain. But then look at the rest of her pro record. She beat a 1-2 girl. She beats an 0-0 girl, 0-0 girl, 0-0 girl. Loses to the 3-1 girl. Beats the 0-2 girl. Loses to Ariana Lipinski, who's 8-3.
Well, that's the thing. Diana has the experience advantage, but she beat a bunch of girls that were debuters and not super impressive records, right?
I tell you right now, I picked Diana earlier this week when she was plus money because I think it's a coin flip fight and I like the plus money odds like I always do. I'm taking Diana.
Okay, I'm for the sake of the podcast, I'm taking Hannah Goldie.
All right, it's fine.
I know it's fine because it's
fine.
My pick. What are you gonna do about it?
Nothing right now because you're in Kaysville and I'm in Sandy.
Fight me, bro. Oh, but when we're in studio together, I'll just jump into your chair and try and choke you.
Did I tell you I was given? Well, they haven't announced the fight yet, but I was giving Joel crap the other day about who his opponent was. Joel Harrell, for everybody listening. So I'm giving him crap, and I'm like, "Hey, your opponent's eating good meals. Your opponent, I'm razzing him, right?" So tomorrow I'm going to the Budokan class at Sierra Martial Arts, and he's like, "Hey, we're sparring afterwards. Bring your gear." And I'm like,
"What time?"
1. Come down. Come down if you can. Yeah, come down. And I'm
that would
like,
be fun. I love sparring with Joel. We did it once, and we had a really good time.
I don't know if I want to do that. I'm like, I don't think I can make it as far, and my side's hurting a little bit.
My Achilles, you know,
my back. It's the way my
Old
schedule's
age.
set up.
I ran out of Vagisil last week. No, I'm just kidding.
No, it'll be a good time. I'm excited. Got my new Do Damage mouthpiece.
Oh, dude, it feels nice, huh?
It is really good. All right, let's chat about the bantamweight division with Sarge Eubanks against Elise Reed. Eubanks is 6-6. Elise Reed coming in at 4-0. Sarge Eubanks 5'4" with a 67-inch reach. Reed is 5'3" with a 61.5-inch reach. Sarge is a huge favorite. -360. The comeback is +280 on Elise Reed. Do we know enough about Reed?
Huge in more ways than one. Here's the thing. I'm looking at this and I'm like, Sarge Eubanks, she's a 500 fighter against a 4-0 fighter, Cage Fury champion, like that. And I'm sitting here and I'm looking at, I'm like, man, where can I get the value on Elise Reed? You know, maybe Eubanks wins by decision is +160. Any other outcome is -190 or 160. Like I like Reed like that. I'm trying to figure out the value. Here's the thing. I don't think you can bet this fight. Or I think the juice is a little too high on Eubanks. If you wanted to sprinkle a little on Reed, I think Eubanks is just too big and too strong for her. Eubanks used to fight at 135, was on that show was on the show for 145s with Macy Chazon on Tough. Like, yeah, she's huge. She's strong. She doesn't do anything really great, but she was a strong 135er. She's a huge 125er dog.
Here's the key thing that I see in this fight. How bad is that weight cut going to be for her?
Is it me or you?
Is what? He must have froze. Yeah, Zack froze. He's got a crappy internet connection with Zack.
I lost you.
Yeah. Can you hear me? It's me. It's you, playa.
Okay.
It's you.
Okay. We're back.
All right. Your screen still froze, by the way.
Okay. But can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you good. So here's the difference I see with Sarge. Sarge is making that weight cut down to 125, which she hasn't been to since
hot minute.
Yeah, I'm scrolling down and back in 2018.
Roxanne Modafferi.
She's now a 36-year-old woman.
But she made 125 on the dot. She didn't even need the extra pound.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. But how tough was it? I didn't see the
she didn't look
weight yet. How did she look? Did she look depleted?
You know what I always thought at 135?
Yeah.
That's a 125er that's just not disciplined in her diet. That's what I always thought.
How's her gas tank going to be? I think this is kind of a good spot to sprinkle a little bit on Reed. 28 years old, making a UFC debut. She could do something.
The bet that I like is that any other outcome at -160. So Eubanks by decision is +120. Any other outcome is -160. Because I think if Eubanks does win, she kind of just mauls her and eventually gets like a ground and pound TKO or maybe even a submission or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think there is a path to victory for Elise Reed as well. Like, I think the odds are just too big. I heard somebody say, James Lynch on his breakdown, he said something about like maybe throw Eubanks in a parlay. There's not a chance.
No way. Zero chance Eubanks in my parlay. Nope. I like some of the stuff he says, but I'll strongly disagree with that one.
Yeah. So it's a big, strong girl.
See, Roman agrees with this. He said, Reed not bad, -160. Great outcome. Hey, Roman, you got any guys fighting this weekend that we can bet on?
Hey, Roman, how did your son's bet go, bro? Too soon?
Mother sucker. Next up in the bantamweight division, we got Julio Arce against Andre Ewell. Arce is 5'7" with a 70.5-inch reach, is fighting Mr. Highlight, who stands 5'8" with a 75-inch reach. This should be a great fight.
I think Arce's just better.
I think so too.
He's just and bigger, coming down from one
145.
145 down to 135. He's going to be bigger. I am interested to see, but man, he has wins over Dan Ige, Daniel Tamor, knocked out our boy Julian Arosa. He's got a couple losses to Brian Kelleher in the regional circuit. That was his last time being at 135, but before that, he kind of ran through everybody. So, I mean, I really like Julio Arce here. Like, I'm pretty heavy. I think he looks really good in this one.
I agree.
Okay.
We will agree on that one. Next up, welterweight division. Mickey Gall is fighting Jordan Williams. Mickey Gall is 6'3", stands 6'2" with a 74-inch reach. Jordan Williams is 9'4", stands 6'1" with a 76.5-inch reach. It's an interesting little matchup. These guys have been alternating win-losses their last 5 fights. Jordan Williams, they're fighting at 170. Jordan Williams normally fights at 185, doesn't he? So he's going down a weight class in this one, right?
Yeah, he is.
That guy has a chin like no other.
Yeah, he does.
He can. You remember that fight with Gregory Rodriguez? That was the fight.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was the Contender Series fight. I'm like, man. Who do you like in this one?
I mean, his only 2 losses recently are to Dagestanis. I can't be that mad at him.
No.
I mean, I actually like Jordan Williams in this. I think there's a chance Mickey Gall's just not that good. Is that a hot take?
I don't know.
Jordan Williams is favored. I thought it was crazy. I thought
Jordan Williams is favored. Yeah, okay. Jordan Williams is favored.
Yeah, I'm all over Jordan Williams on this. Mickey Gall got beat at his own game by Mike Perry grappling. He lost to Diego Sanchez. I mean, what's his best win? Sage Northcutt?
No, CM Punk.
Roman, stop. I mean, cool.
I'm gonna kind of
feed me CM Punk, please, dude. What weight did they fight at?
I think we're gonna 170. I think we're gonna see.
Dude, I'd fight CM Punk right now. I'm better right now than CM Punk was when he fought Mickey Gall. You're looking at me like that. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong.
Oh man, I love it. So you're picking Jordan Williams?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm gonna go against.
Really?
I think we're gonna see. I think Mickey Gall's. We're gonna see a different Mickey Gall. I'm probably gonna regret this pick. Monday morning.
Do you know the strongest part of Mickey Gall's whole presence in the UFC?
What's that?
Mickey's walkout song. Hey Mickey, you so fine, you so fine.
Is that his walkout song?
Yeah. It's the best part about this. This is the best part about Mickey Gall and being in the UFC is getting to listen to that whenever he walks out.
I actually think this is a pretty even matchup, believe it or not.
I think Jordan Williams. I mean, here's the thing: he's a dog, and he's not going to quit. Mickey's slick on the ground. We all know he's a very good jiu-jitsu guy, but yeah, I think on the feet, Jordan Williams is way better. And here's the other problem. I've seen Mickey Gall gas out in fights. I don't know if that's totally been fixed.
I'm going to bank on these fixing it. I'm not betting it, but I'm going to go with Gall.
Okay.
All right. Next up in the middleweight division, we have Ian Heineck against Nassar Dean Imavov.
Good job. I was about to say, I'll give you $5 or buy you a monster if you can pronounce that correctly.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
The Hurricane, 14-4, 5'11" with a 72-inch reach. The Russian Snipers coming in at 9-3, stands 6'3" with a 75.5-inch reach.
Bro, did Christmas come early?
Christmas.
Are we really getting plus money on a guy from Dagestan? Are you kidding me?
Can we see your board? The number one rule.
What's the number one rule on the board?
The number one rule on the board is we do not bet against the Dagestan fighters.
No.
I'm not going to start this with today.
No, not against Ian Heineck.
I actually think Ian probably might win this fight, but I'm not betting against the Russian sniper.
No, dog. No, Ian Heineck. You know,
I like Ian. I like the Hurricane. I like his story.
Him. I like him. I like his story. I do like his story. But man, what does he struggle with? Derek Brunson, wrestler. Omar Akhamed, wrestler. Kelvin Gastelum, wrestler. Dude, you're signing up to fight a guy from Dagestan. I'll take plus money all day. I mean, if this is a fight that I lose, I'm okay. I'm okay going out on my shield with this.
Here's the thing. Are we really betting a Dagestan fighter, or are we betting a French fighter? Because on Tapology it says he's fighting out of France. And if that's the case, he might be from Dagestan.
No, sir. But he was born in Dagestan, Russia.
I know he was born there, but he's not like Khabib and these guys that are living and training there. Like if he's fighting out of France, it's like, okay, like do we get a pass or do we still stay with it?
I'm staying with it.
All right, I'm staying with it too. I'm not changing it. You have the blood in you, you're Garen. All right, Roman, here's your fight. I'm probably going to screw his name up, so I'm just going to say Soriano. Punahele Soriano is fighting Brendan Allen in the middleweight division. This is a freaking banger of a fight.
Is that Roman, one of Roman's guys?
Yeah, he trains out of Extreme Couture.
Oh, see, I didn't even.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I know he's an Extreme Couture guy, but yeah.
All your money. Oh, we're in. I'm in.
Oh,
he's the favorite. He's the favorite now.
He is minus 120 now, and as he should be. He's the better fighter. You know what I love about him? He's a finisher, dog.
Yeah, he's
a finisher. Look at all those first round finishes. He's 8-0. I mean, I do look at the experience and I'm like, like that makes me that made me want to pump the brakes a little bit. But the way that Sean Strickland beat the brakes off him, I do think he does have a slight advantage in the grappling. But I mean, if Punahele is Extreme Couture, it's not like he's not getting the grappling coaching with Jake Shields and all those people down there.
And Aleko
and all those guys. Yeah, and great takedown defense. Good luck getting him to the ground. Right?
I just locked it in.
I mean, he's big, he's strong, and dude, those are kind of the guys. He's athletic. Those are kind of the guys that homeboy Brendan Allen struggles with. But look at this. His losses. Trevor Giles, big athletic guy. Eric Andrews, huge athletic guy. Anthony Hernandez, athletic dude, beat the black belt hunter. Right?
Wait. I'm doing the Trump thing with the hands.
Oh God.
What? Hey, Roman, why didn't his name come across to come on the podcast? Why did we not get Soriano coming on the podcast? Come on, dog.
Probably because you do things like Trump things.
Probably that. All right, so we're both on Soriano.
Huge for us.
Next time. He said next time. He said, all right, I got you. Roman always takes care
of
himself.
I'm a big fan of Soriano. I like him. I believe I picked against him in his last fight and was dead wrong. Oh yeah, when he knocked out Dusko because Dusko kept walking around with his head in the air.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm all in on
like the kid.
Punahele Soriano.
All right, next up, fight of the night. This could be fight of the night. If the fight before wasn't, this one might.
God, I'm so stoked for this fight.
I'm so stoked. Not only because these guys are both freaking awesome guys. Their Twitter little beef they have, which it's not really a beef, but the whole Dr. Pepper. Fun. Yeah, the whole Dr. Pepper thing. Yeah, awesome. It's fun. Adrian Yanez, Randy Costa. Adrian Yanez is 13-3, stands 5'7" with a 70.5-inch reach. The Zohan, Randy Costa, is 6-1. He stands 5'9" with a 73-inch reach. Both guys look phenomenal on the weigh-ins this morning. I did catch both their weigh-ins. Costa looked freaking good, man.
Both look good, man.
Yeah.
What about Costa saying he's like, yeah, I hope our fight can get over quick so I can go to the strip club.
Oh yeah, I'm all in, dude. I was all in on Adrian Yanez, but I'm still taking Yanez. He's still my pick, but
Yanez.
Don't sleep on Costa. He's a
you know
dog,
what?
man.
I would pick Costa against pretty much any other prospect except Adrian Yanez. Adrian Yanez is striking. I think he's phenomenal. His striking is phenomenal.
Jorge, what they compare him to? Jorge Masvidal? Like a little Jorge?
That's a great comparison, actually.
Yeah, his style, his stance.
You got Teddy Atlas going like, that is some of the best hands I've ever seen in MMA.
Yeah.
Like, hello? Like, he might have the best boxing at 135 pounds right now. He's fought the tougher competition. I think he is slightly better in his stand-up. I think if Randy wants to win this fight, I think he needs to catch him early and rock him and put him away early.
Which he could.
Because once Giannis finds his distance and his range, and we saw it in the last fight, and once he finds that and then he goes to work, he's so methodical and so calculated. It's like old school Anderson, right?
Yeah.
You spend that first round like downloading all your movements and your timing and your speed, and then once he's got it, then he goes to work. It's over, dog.
I listened to his pre-fight press conference, and I was impressed with the way that he, both these guys are both new to the UFC. They're both up and comers, but you don't want the fight to happen.
By the way, these next two fights, I'm kind of like, yeah, it's a great matchmaking, but it's like, why you got to do them like that, dog? I feel both of them like this, where I'm just like, I know the UFC is like the best fight's the best, but it's like, dang, dog, like why you got to do Randy Costa like this? Like, dude, why? Like, can't we wait till there's like numbers next to them and they're headlining their own UFC Fight Night?
I think it's just both of their stocks are going to rise after this fight, regardless.
Yeah, I would agree.
I would agree. Next up in the flyweight division, we have Macy the Future Barber against Miranda Fear the Maverick. Macy Barber is 8-2, stands 5'5" with a 65-inch reach. Fear the Maverick is 9-2. She stands 5'3" with a 65-inch reach as well. So pretty close height and reach.
First time Macy's been an underdog in the UFC,
and for good reason.
Macy, here's the problem. Giving Miranda Maverick and Macy Barber fight each other.
Yeah.
They're pretty much telling Macy Barber, wow us or get out.
She's so young still, though.
I know she is, but I mean, she was 8-0 in the future, and she was talking about being the youngest champion ever. And you know what? When she lost to Roxanne Modafferi, you got to remember, she finished that fight with a blown ACL.
Yeah.
I don't think that was a bad loss for her.
No.
I really don't. And then, dude, it's not like Alexa Grasso sucks.
No, she's legit too.
She's legit. And she fought a girl. Macy started slow, but if you remember that fight, go back and watch it. Macy beat the brakes off her in the third round of that fight.
Yeah. It
was like she just needed to wake up. It took her a couple rounds to wake up. So I'm really interested to see how aggressive she starts this fight. And I think that's going to be a big tell. But on the other end, I look at Miranda Maverick. I think Miranda's striking is just slightly better. I think her grappling's better. I mean, I think this is a tough matchup for Macy Barber, and I think Macy has to come out on fire and put her on her quick, or else she's going to lose and be on a 3-fight losing streak and seriously start to flirt with, because everybody knows you get on a 4-fight losing streak in the UFC, that's pretty much donezo, especially as a prospect.
Yeah. The thing that stood out to me the most about this matchup, and I was always leaning towards Miranda when they first announced it, even though I like Macy Barber a lot.
Love them.
I love her. I've always liked her.
Yeah.
But one of the things that stood out for me, and I was listening to James Lynch's breakdown of this, is Macy Barber's been camp hopping a lot. Like, she's been to a couple different camps in the last, I don't know, year. I think she's at Team Alpha Male now, is what they were saying. Right now, yeah. But she's been everywhere. I think she was down at Jackson Wink. I think she was at a couple other big names.
Still trying to find. It feels like she's still trying to find herself.
which is fine. Like, she's a young, like, hey, do that. I'm all for getting the most experience you can, but
well, it's what TJ Dillashaw actually said in one of his interviews really rang true to me. he's the CEO of his own brand and his business, and he has to do what's best for him. And he talked about, his move, and if that makes me a bad guy, whatever, and all this and that. And I mean, that's kind of, that's 5 years ago. Like, who cares about that stuff now? Macy's just trying to find what works for her. I get that, but it's like, do you really want to do that? Like, I'm going to do a camp with these guys. Now I'm going to do a camp with these guys.
Shouldn't you lay that? You have to lay that foundation down first, right? Before you start building those bricks.
I'll let you talk for a second.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of went through the same thing in my bodybuilding career. I started out with one coach. I did 4 or 5 shows with one coach and decided, okay, now I need a different look. Go to another coach, do another show. Now it's like, okay, now I'm starting to see my potential, and I go to another bigger, a big name coach and take it to the next level. So I think once she's found her footing and finds a good home, I think she could be dangerous, because the girl's only 23 years old. And Miranda Maverick's only 24. So super, super fun fight between 2 girls that are up and coming. I think Miranda Maverick ends up getting a decision win in this fight. Next up in the featherweight division, we have Darren the Damage Elkins fighting Derek Minner. Dude, what a freaking war this is going to be. The Damage, the official fight. He's our guy. He just doesn't know it. Of the Damage Plan fight guy is Darren Elkins. I've sent him a message before. He never responded. Darren Elkins, 25-9, stands 5'10" with a 71-inch reach. Derek Minner is 26-11, stands 5'7" with a 71-inch reach.
Really quick.
Hey, Hillary.
She's been out swimming.
Nice.
With the fam, and my boys swimming out with their cousins. Oh, so if people didn't hear my official pick from that, it was Miranda Maverick.
Miranda Maverick. Okay, we're both on.
But I do think Macy has a shot if she comes out aggressive. She starts slow though, she's dead again.
So I just gave you the breakdown of these 2 guys. Fight. Now we've got a handful of fights on here that could be the fight of the night. This fight, this could just take over all of this. Could be a war. These guys are both bringing it every fight.
This one breaks my heart.
Why does it break your heart? Because somebody's got to lose?
Because I have never not picked Darren Elkins on this podcast. I love Darren Elkins. I do. I love Darren Elkins and his ability to finish fights, come back from the dead basically, and win fights. And he's just such a gamer in this. But at the end of the day, dude, this is not a young man, or this is not an old man sport. And you have a guy that's 37 years old that has the heart of a lion, but he is an aged lion, and he's had so many wars, and he takes so much damage in those fights. And I think we saw it in his last fight. He even won.
Yeah.
I think he's a little bit slower now. Like, that dude cannot hang with elite guys. And Derek Minor is 31. He has 37 fights himself.
Yeah.
He has more fights. He's 6 years younger.
And look who he's going to have in his corner.
Who?
James Krause.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Oh, yeah. We didn't even get to that. He's a glory guy.
Yeah, he's a glory.
But he beat Charles Rosa, who looks good. He's beat other guys.
TJ Laramie.
Beat Clay Collard.
Yeah, Clay Collard.
Right before he got to the UFC, beat Clay Collard. Like, he's been through the wars. He's one of those guys, one of the few guys that I would say has really put in his time in the regional circuit and didn't get like that quick, like kind of like a Darren Elkins. Really had to earn his way more and didn't really get a catch a break or his big opportunity early in his career.
Yeah.
And I think those are the guys that, I think it's going to be a great fight, but I would expect somebody that's in the prime of their career at 31 years old to be able to just patiently pick apart and tee off on somebody like Darren Elkins. I love Darren Elkins, but I just don't see it for this fight for him, unfortunately.
I'm going to echo everything you said. Derek Miner's
sucks.
Minner. Co-main event is the new co-main event is Kyler Phillips in the bantamweight division. Kyler Phillips against Rulian Pavaya. Phillips is 9-1. He stands 5'8" with a 70.5-inch reach. Pavaya 20-3, stands 5'8" with a 69.5-inch reach. Who do you like in this co-main event?
It's not who do I like, it's who do I love. And I love Kyler Phillips. I'm all in on Kyler Phillips.
Yeah, he seems to be getting better and better every fight.
His last performance was like flawless.
And didn't he say on the thing his mom's like a fashion designer? Did you see him dressed up during the press conference? He's freaking dressed, man.
He's an interesting cat.
Almost as good as our next guest, Jordan Levitt, who will be on in 12 minutes.
Get out of here, Jordan. There is nothing better than Jordan Levitt's suit that he was wearing at the Challenger Series. It was his grandpa's suit.
Was it really?
I'll let him tell that story, but yeah, right. I believe so.
That's pretty cool.
I believe so. No, and dude, you've heard me say this. I actually firmly believe the guys that came from that season 27 of The Ultimate Fighter and being in an environment of being in a house, we're all alpha males, right? When we fight, not all, but most fighters and successful fighters are type A personality, alpha males. You kind of size everybody up in the room. I catch myself doing it like some egomaniac dickhead. You know, you walk into a room and you're like, I could take that guy.
I think every guy does that.
A little bit, right? A little bit
to some extent. Yeah.
And I just think that pressure cooker, one, was so good for him. I mean, yes, he lost his first fight by a decision to Brad Katoa, who had a good run in the UFC in his own right. But it's like, I think that training with, you know, and they're being around DC and Stipe for whatever, 6, 7, 8 weeks, whatever it was, and training with the best in their weight class, 145 and 155ers in the country, unsigned guys. I think it made diamonds out of, like, that pressure cooker made diamonds out of some of those guys. And Kyler Phillips is one of those guys. I mean, Tyler Diamond, no pun intended. Him, Bryce Mitchell, Brad Cantona had a good run. I mean, it has produced some killers. Some Luis Pena, hope he gets his own stuff figured out. Violet Bob-Ross, Mike Trezano. You know, I mean, it's like, dude, that pressure cooker was so good for some of those guys, and then some of them have gone away completely. I think Kyler Phillips he might be the one, though, that him and Bryce Mitchell, I think, might be the ones that ascend to the top of that 135 or 145 weight class. And that was the other thing. Kyler Phillips is a 135er, and he was competing with those 145ers. Yeah. And I mean, that's a bad, to be in that type of a atmosphere and be probably a little bit undersized. Like, that's a bad man. And he has all the skills. I'm so high on Kyler Phillips, and I follow him on Facebook and Instagram. That dude puts in work. Yeah, constantly. The only thing I'm not a fan of is his hair. Go back to the short hair, dog. Other than that, you're doing everything. I mean, who cares? Like, it's his hair, like, whatever. But I mean, dude, he's no joke. He is the Matrix, dude. I'm a believer. And this Pavaya guy, sorry, dog. You have a super sexy record, right? 20-3.
20-3. He's a young kid. He's 25. He's still a kid.
But guess what? He's I think we are going to see, he built his record a lot before he got to the UFC, and he is, I think we are going to see a pretty lopsided victory for Kyler Phillips.
So we're both on Kyler Phillips. Main event time. I've been waiting for this. Corey the Sandman Sandhagen's fighting the comeback TJ Dillashaw. Sandhagen is 14-2, stands 5'11" with a 70-inch reach. Mr. Dillashaw is 16-4. He stands 5'6" with a 68-inch reach. So, I mean, pretty even with the reach, but 5-inch height advantage for Sandhagen. What are your thoughts on this fight, man? Like, I like both guys. but I feel like there's a lot of unknowns. Like we just don't. What are we going to get out of TJ Dillashaw? I guess
here's the weird thing about it. I love Corey Sandhagen.
I do too.
He's my guy. Like that's one of those guys where it's like I'd ride with that guy all day, every day.
Love his mindset.
Not the biggest fan of TJ Dillashaw from what I've seen, like as a person, right?
Yeah. I like
in the stuff that I hear and that I've heard and stuff like that. And it's not just from the Team Alpha Male guys. I've heard it from multiple guys of like how he is in the training room and things like it. Like maybe not the guy that like I would like to hang out with and be around. Where Corey Sandhagen, I'm like, I'd chill with that dude all day, right? Guy. You know what I mean? And listen to him on Dana White. I love him. I love what he did to Frankie Edgar. Actually, it broke my heart because he made it.
Did you see the UFC TikTok? You sent it to me, didn't you?
Yeah,
it was. Yeah. I didn't realize it was from the UFC.
Yeah. Look what he did here. Boop. Look what he did here. Boop. Yeah. That wheel kick on Marlon Moraes was just ridiculous. He got caught by Aljamain Sterling a few fights ago. I look at Sandhagen and everybody's like, he's arrived. He lost to Aljamain, who is the sitting champ, whatever at that. Marlon Moraes has not been the same since Cejudo broke him.
True.
And Frankie Edgar is long removed from lightweight champion Frankie Edgar.
I 100% agree. What did he do to both of those guys, though?
Oh, yeah.
What he was supposed to do. He slept both of them.
Right. I agree.
Okay, you give me two guys that are, let's just say, on the downslide. I'm going to knock them out.
Now let me reverse that. I would say most people coming off of a 2.5 year layoff, I would say that I don't like that. Yeah. And by the way, I think he cheated. I think he's a cheat, and I don't respect that. They said they went back and even tested old blood samples and didn't find EPO in that, which does make me happy to hear. But I don't think he just decided all of a sudden for the 125 to become a cheater either. So, but that's all subjective. That's all subjective, and that's all whatever. And
not with that drug. With this potent and the knowledge you have to take that. That's just not. That's not a steroid that bodybuilders are just freaking injecting. Like that's not something that I've used in the past. That like it's a very dangerous drug, and it's a drug that probably should be administered by a doctor.
So all that being said, I want to, and it is what it is. One, I've listened to the interviews. I love where TJ's at mentally.
Yeah.
Two, I would say a 2.5 year layoff is horrible for everybody. Unless you're a sociopath. I think he's a sociopath. I think he took that entire 2 years and used it all of the negativity and everything as fuel and trained. And he even said he put on like good, clean, heavy muscle, got up to 168. Like he said, at my biggest, I got up to 168, and he just looked, and he said, and it was like slow and good muscle and meathead workouts and all this stuff. And he said that was kind of fun and just eating as much as I could. And because I was training so hard, and he's cut from that same cloth of like, to me, of like Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Jerry Rice, like sociopath work ethic as an athlete. And I think he's the type of guy. You have to remember when he went away, he was still the sitting 135 champ. He lost the 125 as a challenger. He was the sitting 135 champ. He was the best bantamweight in the world. And you could make an argument that he is or still on his way to being the best 135er ever. And if he's really been putting in work and sharpening his tools and adding tools to his belt and doing all this, I normally wouldn't do this. I'm rolling with TJ Dillon. I think TJ wins this fight. And I don't like doing it because I'll be happier if Corey Sandhagen throw a flying knee to TJ Dillashaw and sleep him. I'll be jumping, cheering. I'll be so happy. But at the same time, I just TJ, and it won't even shock me. But I actually, and I'm not a huge fan of his personally, but I do think he's one or two on the greatest bantamweights of all time. And I don't think you can dismiss that.
I don't hate that pick, but I'm going to go with Sandhagen, man. I still think there's too many unknowns. 2-year layoff. You're fighting a guy that's tall, 5-inch reach advantage. That's tall. The only thing that concerns me is Dillashaw's wrestling, and if he takes Sandhagen down, I know Sandhagen's got a little bit of ground game, but that submission that Aljo was able to hit on him. I'm sticking with Sandhagen, man. I like Sandhagen. I think he wins a fight.
I'm just saying, and I love Sandhagen, and I love his mindset and how he talked about on the Joe Rogan podcast, having to change his mindset.
Oh, I love.
After that, Aljamain, and what he learned from his loss and everything. Like, dude, that perfect.
Yeah,
perfect. And I even thought, I even think this. Ready? I actually think the winner of this fight is the future champion. I think the winner of this fight beats Peter Yan or Aljamain Sterling.
I think so too. I mean, if TJ
still
wins,
that guy, if TJ's still that guy,
if he beats Sandhagen this weekend, everybody is put on notice real quick. And same thing with Sandhagen. Sandhagen beats a guy like TJ Dillashaw. It depends on how it gets done and all that. I mean, dude, like, yeah, I'm all in, man. Sandhagen. Do you want to do DraftKings, or we got to jump on this other?
Nope. Check your phone real quick.
Oh, okay.
I just sent you a message, but no, it is. There's a lot of unknowns, and we're both kind of trying to make the best educated guess we can. And I don't think either of us are wrong. I do not think it's wrong to pick Sandhagen here because he's coming off a 2.5 year layoff. I'm just going with my gut on if Corey Sandhagen or if TJ Dillashaw is still that same bad mamma jamma that he was 2.5 years ago at 135. I think that's the best. I think that's the best bantamweight we've ever seen. Him or Dominic Cruz. I think TJ at his peak is, and like I said, he's a sociopath and he's a jerk, and he has teammates that don't like to train with him because he hurts people, because he goes so hard, because he can't lose a round, he can't lose a wind sprint, he can't lose a grappling. Like he's so freaking competitive. And the other side of it too is he is 35 years old. So you know what? Father Time might have passed him up in the last 2.5 years too, and we just haven't seen it. You don't know.
We're gonna find out. Should we give our official picks right now? Or we got to do them on TikTok too, because we're supposed to be building up our TikTok. Per our marketing director.
Yeah, per our marketing director.
We have to pump up our social media.
So yeah, man, when we get in studio, like he needs to be like our Jamie, that Joe Rogan has, like our producer.
That would be pretty dope. We should have him come in for those.
That'd be fun. So here, you ready for my DraftKings picks?
Yeah. Do you want to give your picks for here or draft picks first?
Whatever.
Your official bet picks? I don't care. We can do draft. Go ahead and do DraftKings then. I'm writing down my official bets right now.
So as we know with DraftKings, and I try to reiterate constantly, you have to have underdogs.
Yes,
and because of the value, the value is insane. TJ Dillashaw is only $7,400.
Ooh, TJ. Unknowns. Okay.
As far as Vegas odds go, that's pretty lopsided for how close of a Vegas odds fight this is. So there's a ton of value there. Imavov is only $7,700 over Heineck.
Okay.
Miranda Maverick is $8,400, and I do have her on my official DraftKings lineup.
Okay.
My two picks that I love, Roman's boy, Soriano.
Okay.
And my boy, your boy, Adrian Yanez.
Okay.
That leaves us with a max bet.
Ooh, who do we got? Max money going on.
Who are you the most confident in? Eubanks, Kyler Phillips, or RK or RC?
Kyler Phillips.
Me too. That's who I have in there. That leaves you $100 left over.
I won last week, by the way, my DraftKings.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Well, you didn't get your. I ended up switching out.
I missed it. I forgot that Miles John fight got pulled, and I missed it. And you know what's crazy? I only lost by like 20 points.
Crazy. I'm probably still going to have a couple other bets, but my official bets that I already have in right now, I took Balbita at plus 100. It's even money now. So I got her at plus money. And I love those. I love those fights that are coin flip fights. I will always take the plus money. If it's a coin flip fight, I'm taking the plus money.
Period.
Just from a betting standpoint. I'm on Roman's guy Soriano at minus 120, and I'm on Miranda Maverick at minus 150. Those are my 3 official. But I think we're going to cook up a little parlay, which we might have to talk about on TikTok if we don't figure it out right now.
Well, we're figuring it out right now. Kyler Phillips is in our parlay.
Adrian Yanez
in our parlay.
Giannis. I don't really like to do more than 2. I kind of like those 2, but I'll add another one if you were confident.
Let's get to plus money here.
Soriano?
Julio RC.
RC.
Minus 200. That's a 3-team parlay that's going to get you into plus money that you're going to feel pretty good about.
I don't hate that.
And then my official picks are a little dog heavy.
Okay, let's see. What do you got?
I am going to roll and sprinkle a little bit on TJ Dillashaw.
Okay.
I love in the Sarge Eubanks fight any other outcome other than Sarge Eubanks wins by decision at minus 160.
I like that too because I think she's going to finish her.
I think either happens. Either Sarge gets the finish or she gets upset and loses. And then lastly, my third pick that I really like is I'm going with the Dagestani, Imamov.
Okay.
And I am betting on Soriano too. But with that parlay. But yeah, that's what I'm rolling with.
All right. There it is. There's our official locks. We're going to try to keep track of these. And
dude, next weekend's card's fun.
So much. Well, next weekend's card, you ain't watching.
I'll be watching in the back. Are you kidding me?
I'm going to have
Zack, what are you doing while you're waiting for while you're at the Union Event Center from 5 o'clock till like 11? What are you going to be doing? Well, I'll warm up from like 10 to 11, but before that, I'm watching fights, dog.
What I'll probably do is I'm going to have that fight on the UFC. I'm going to have Mina's fight on in Phoenix.
Oh gosh.
As long as it's going to be aired, we're trying to figure out because she's the main event of the prelims, I guess you could say, right before the main card. So I don't know if they air all those or not. So we're trying to figure that out. And then I'm going to be obviously watching your fight and that Steel Fist card. Dude. Let me put this on here one more time. For those of you who cannot make the fight, next Saturday night, July 31st, to watch Zack fight in the main event, www.blitztv.com. 2 Z's at the end of Blitz.
BlitzTV.tv, not
.tv. Yes, sorry. I'm looking right at it. It's there. I said it wrong a couple podcasts ago, so I corrected it. There it is.
Boom.
Watch it. All right. Boom. We are.
Hey, tune in because in a few minutes we have Jordan Levitt coming on. And then a few minutes after that, I will be coming on. And then a few minutes after that, Chris Curtis will be on. Jordan Levitt will be very entertaining. I will be, you know what you get with me. And Chris Curtis is fireworks.
It's always fireworks with Chris. Anyways, we'll see you guys in a second. Thanks. We out. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Appreciate